Assalamualaikum. My name is Farhana and I'm from MC2425A. Today I would like to talk about the freedom of media in Malaysia. So this is for my 651 subject, that is mass media and society. So first of all, the introduction for the mass media, freedom of mass media in Malaysia. As we know, mass media in Malaysia is before the general election, the 14th general election was controlled by the government. Even it wasn't said that obviously, but we know the government does control the media. So after the general election, the 14th general election, the Pakatan Harapan had promised to the citizen that they would go for media freedom for our country. This is because for everyone who knows everything, anything, any news regarding that happens in our country. So actually, even though our country is not that free, but it is obviously much more better than China, than the Southeast country, as they are likely more strict about the freedom of media in their country. So after the Pakatan Harapan had took over the government, so we can see that our country now is much more free. Sorry, because my little housemate just passed by, but move to our stories back. So after the general election, firstly, the Pakatan Harapan had promised us about the freedom of media. So as we know now, the Bulletin Utama had already told any stories regarding any matters in the berita, even in the social media, without having any tindakan undang-undang. Apa? Tindakan undang-undang.
Law.
Without any law towards them. Law action towards them. So I got my roommate behind me to help me. So now, first of all, but there were two sides that says that it was a good thing if our country doing the media freedom, but there's one side said it was not a good things for us to have the freedom of media in our country. So I would like to talk about the positive and the negative, and why is our country need to consider it regarding this matter. Stay tuned. So hello, I'm back. So there's first of all, for now I would like to talk about the factors that affecting the restriction of media freedom in our country. So nowadays people is uprising regarding this matter, that they want our country to be free in media, so that they can speak what they want to say, so that they want to talk whatever they want to talk, so that they could give their opinion anytime, anywhere, without any restriction. But there's a few factors that affecting the restriction on media freedom. There will be some reasons why these things need to be restricted. First of all, is because to prevent any chaos in our country. As we know, we are the Malaysia, we got many races, we got many ethnics, and for us it was a sensitive things if we are given the media freedoms in our country, because anyone could say what they want to say. Like they can comment, or they can condemn any others religion, any others races. So it would be inappropriate for us to do that things, and it would be sorry because my video stopped like just now. So as I said just now, we got many races, we got many ethnics. If we are not puas hati, if we are not satisfied with them, we will just write it inside the Facebook, inside the Instagram. So it can make us, the citizen, fighting among us. So the 13th May incident will happen. So to prevent this thing, I would say we can still have the media freedom, but with some restriction. So the second reason is because to ensure our country our country information to be kept safe. So you can imagine if there's freedom in our country, so we can talk anything, we can say anything, and we can reveal anything. So if there's any secret that involving our country, so we can spread it through social media, and other country would know about these things, it would be like a big problem for us. even for our country, because it will like giving them to enter and giving them to do chores in our country. So the other factors that affect the media freedom in our country is oh yeah, because media triggers and raises concern for people who are up to date. Like there's something happened in Lahad Datu that involving Filipina in Malaysia. So the media need to tapis and cover up a few things before they tell to the people, because it would may mencetuskan huru hara between these two countries. So you can imagine if there's no restriction, everything was told, so there would be a bigger problem will occur. So for these three reasons, this is the reasons why our country, this is the factors that affect the restriction of media freedom in our country. So moving on to next is the negative effect and the positive effect for the media freedom. So stay tuned. Right, so we're gonna talk about the positive effect first regarding the media freedom in our country. So for the first one is, we can see that the accuracy of the news story nowadays, we will know, so the writers, the authors, even the journalists will be more accurate. They will deliver the right news, or they would no need to think whether they can write these things or not without hesitate, because they can write anything they want. They can write the true stories, they can write anything without concerning about other people. So the news will be more accurate and the news will be more right compared to others, because before this we doesn't know whether the news is right or wrong, or it was under other people's instructions, right? So the second effect of the media freedoms is it can open people's mind. This is because before this there's a restriction in media, as it involved the government in the media. So if there's no more restriction in the media, so the people will open up their mind. They would know what the government do, what the past government do. Even these few days there's a matter regarding our deputy prime minister Tan Sri Zahid Amidi regarding the 31 million matters about his foundation, because there's not even 1 cent that money goes to the orang-orang miskin. All the money goes for himself. So if the previous government still rules the Malaysia, we don't even know that things could happen. So after the changes of the government, so now we know what happened. So where's the money goes, and even from the news that he used the money to pay his credit card. So these things we as a Malaysian should know, and it will open our mind which one is the right position and which one is the not right position. So for the third one, media can raise awareness. You see, if we as the people who watch the social media, the people who watch the television, if there's a limitation, if there's no media freedom in this country, we could never know what happened in our country, and the informations. So you know what I mean? If there's media freedom, we could know everything about the country, even all the matters that happen inside the country, regarding self-government, regarding the artists, everything. So that is the positive effect of the media freedom. So that if there's a positive things, there should be a negative things that would affect our country. If there's a negative effect of the media freedom, for the first one, it will spread defamation, of course. If there's no sekatan in the media, there will so many defamation could occur. We doesn't know whether that things is true or not. So this is the things that we need to bear, because the negative effect could happen them because of defamation. People can talk anything, people can say anything without scared any things that will happen to them, as there is no rules that gonna control them, gonna control these things, as they had the freedom of speech and they had the freedom of media. And the second negative effect is they can spread any words without any restriction. Can you imagine if there's an accident happens, so people could just post all the pictures during the accident without thinking about the families feel, about what they feel, and then they keeps on saying what happened and showing the bodies with full of blood. So things like this need to be considered before deciding to introduce the media freedom. So I think these two things are the most important thing that the government need to consider before approving the media freedom in our country. So if there's any problems, should be there's a solution in any problem. So the first solution we can do is we can do the media freedom as long as it was controlled by a trusted party. Obviously not government, we can just do it by the MC without controlling or berat sebelah. They can just say they can just produce any negative or positive story about the government, the previous government, the people, but controlled by the trusted party like police, MC. So the next one, if the government must enforce the effective law. If there's a law regarding the media freedom, so these things macam ada sekatan sedikit. So we cannot just simply talk, we cannot just simply say regarding any matters. We need to think before we speak. And then the defamation also can be controlled if any documents, any documents, any data, any files or social media is registered under the government before it can be browsed. So here all the things that we do is under the government concern. So this can prevent from any peperangan berlaku, any chaos, any salah faham any misunderstanding happen between the races, between the people in our country. So here, before I end this video, so we can think the positive effect of the media freedom and the negative effect. Obviously for me, we should do the media freedom so that we know what happened in our country, we know what's gonna happen next, what is happening now, what is happening before this, so that we are still under the concern regarding our country. But we need to help people who control this media freedom, the matters, without being biased. So that's it for my video. So thank you. Bye.